for?
I don't know. I want to make something.
We don't have a lot of ingredients.
You know, I think we might be able to make that work. So you want to make your own ginger beer, but before we do that, you have to make something called a ginger bug, which is essentially a sourdough starter, but for making your own ginger beer. You're going to start with 2 cups of water, that's 500 milliliters, and then 2 tablespoons of fine grated ginger or finely chopped ginger. Leaving the skin on is fine. And then to top it off, you're going to put in 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And then you're going to feed this every 24 hours until it becomes bubbly, which should be 2 to 3 days, though mine took a little bit longer than that. You're going to feed it the 2 tablespoons of more fine grated ginger, finely chopped ginger, and 2 additional tablespoons of white sugar every day until you see these bubbles. Don't be worried if it takes more than a few days. Sometimes it does. It just depends on your area and where you are. And of course, after you add these things in, you're going to want to make sure that you mix it quite well. A fun little bonus in doing this is that you get to see the swirling, mesmerizing pattern of ginger floating through water there. And you'll see as we go on here, the container gets very, very full. It's okay to add a little bit more water, just make sure it's not incredibly hot or incredibly cold. And you also want to top this off with some muslin or cheesecloth. This thing that we're using here is just a white vegetable bag. Put a rubber band around it, and then that'll keep out the bad things. You can see here there's bubbles starting to form. This was on around day 5. You just want those little bubbles. If you're new to fermenting, you can look up some pictures, or you can just rewind the video and check out that spot there. For the beer itself, after you've achieved this bubbling with your ginger bug, you're going to start with 2 quarts of filtered water. What I do is I just fill up all the containers that I'm planning on fermenting the actual ginger beer in, just that way I don't make too much or too little, but this is a base recipe you can use. Starting with 2 quarts of filtered water, 1 cup of white sugar, 1/4 cup of grated ginger, 1/2 cup of the strained ginger bug, and 2 to 4 lemons. Juice it for the tang. You can do this in a juicer, or you can just squeeze them out, and a little pinch of salt. And you're going to throw all of that on the stove except the ginger bug. Do not add the ginger bug yet. You're going to bring this up to a boil, and then you're going to turn off your stove and let it come down to room temperature. Actually room temperature though. It can't be even a little bit warmer than room temperature, because when you add your bug, you'll kill the bacteria that's in there right now. You can see this is nice and bubbly, and once this is cool, we're going to add this to that cloth bag that we used to keep bugs and other critters out. And then we're going to milk it, just pull it out, squeeze it, and you could see those sugar and all that fun juicy stuff. That's where the taste is. You could see that coming out. And then when you bottle these, make sure that you use brewer's bottles, otherwise your bottle will explode. And when you go to burp these, which you should do every 24 hours, make sure that you do it over a sink, because they can fizz up pretty easily. I used a funnel here, and then for the solids, I just used a chopstick to punch them through the hole in the funnel. A lot of folks don't like solids, but you can always take them out after it's done fermenting, but for now they are necessary in this process still. We're adding a bunch of different herbs here. We've got some rosemary, some sage, and some lavender, most of which is not in season, as I'm sure you can tell by the dead leaves there, but it's as good as some dried herbs being put in there. And you heard that burping sound. That's what it should sound like every day when you burp it. This recipe only calls for 1/2 cup of strained ginger bug, so if you want to make this recipe back to back, all you got to do is build up the inventory to do it again. But if you want to wait and keep this in your fridge, you only need to feed it every 3 days and then reactivate it at room temperature to make the recipe once more. Smells very gingery, slightly sour.
It smells like a lemon for some reason.
Well, there's lemon juice in there.
Do you hate when you turn a cup and like all the contents that you're trying to turn away from keep going? Okay, it's not bad.
That's very good.
It's like nice and sugary.
It tastes like ginger ale.
Oh, I can see that. Oh wait, look at this bubbles.
Yeah, there's some carbonation in there.
That's awesome.
Delicious.
I just don't like the
chunks.
Yeah.
Though it would be a little bit better if it was colder. So if you want to keep this in your fridge, just make sure to burp it every 3 days instead of every day. And you probably want to open it under or over the sink. No, unless you're giving it to a plumber, don't open it under your sink.
Why are you being hysterical?
Irrelevant, but this is slightly alcoholic at this point, but not to the point that we should be laughing.
What?
Right
You're
now.
being so weird.
I'm just so excited. This is like 10 days of work here.
It really is good. It's not like ginger ale, but it's nice.
It's like ginger flavored kombucha, basically, with a little bit of extra sugar. That's how I
no,
would
with
describe
extra
it.
carbonation.
And if you want even more carbonation, just leave it out and make sure that they're burped every day. That way your bottles don't explode. And remember to use brewer's bottles, because otherwise your bottles will explode. I love it when my soda's crunchy.
That
Anyway.
was the grossest sentence.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see some more weird experiments like this, please subscribe, because we do fun stuff. And if you want to make sure that you see this stuff, the best way to do it is to hit that little bell icon next to the subscribe button, because YouTube doesn't always notify people when videos come out. So that's how to make sure that you know.
Oh, I'm sure they don't know that already.
Yeah. Well, on this channel, if you're new here, welcome. We do pretty much whatever we feel like. We don't really have a theme. We do drawing stuff, sewing stuff. We make things, do challenges, make ginger beer. Yeah. So, if you want to experience different things, consider becoming an explorer. See you soon, and thanks for watching.
Or
I don't know, I want to make something, but we don't have a lot.
you just ruined my next line. What are you looking for?